Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Talks episode 22. Let me turn off my phone before it rings because y'all will hear a very loud ringtone. Very loud. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, like I said, it's episode 22. Believe it or not, we're already at episode 22. I was sitting and thinking, like, how am I going to do my Tuesday talks when I go on vacation? Hey, Raz. And I don't want to have to not do my Tuesday talks when I'm on vacation because I'm like, I will miss doing it because I haven't missed a week. And so I don't know. I might have to see. I don't even know like if I'm going to be like on the road during this time, any of the days that I'm traveling or not. I'm not sure. So I'm just like, I don't know. I have to plan it out and see if I'll still be able to go live because I know I'm leaving on a Saturday, which is the first. Let's see. So I think I'll be, you know what I'm doing on the 4th. I think that's a traveling day for me. Yeah, so I might miss 1 week of Tuesday talks, possibly. I'm going to Pennsylvania. One of my cousins is getting married. And so I'm going to follow his parents. We're going to kind of do like a road trip. And I'm going to get a chance to go to several states that I've never been to. So that's why I'm really, really excited. So yeah, my aunt's like a casino buff. And so a lot of the cities that we're going to be stopping in are along the way of some casinos. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I need a vacation. I really need a vacation. Like I'd initially thought that I was going to go back to Seattle and Canada. But when I found out that the wedding was going to be on a farm, because it's going to be on a farm, I was like, I have to go. Like, otherwise I had no plans on going, but I was like, I've got to go because I want to have that experience. And so I set it all up with my aunt, my uncle, and yeah, it sounds fun. Yeah, I would prefer to do driving, except I don't want to be the driver, and I think I'm going to be the driver. But I prefer driving to flying any day. I don't like flights. I don't care how short they are. I don't like them. And the reason why the distance doesn't matter is because I took a flight to Dallas once. And from San Antonio to Dallas, that's like a 45-minute flight. And I got so sick. I was sick to my stomach. Like I was so sick. Like I think everyone could tell just from looking at me. I had to grab the little barf bag on the plane because I thought I was going to barf, but thank God I didn't. I don't know if it was because like right before we had landed, I had gotten like they had given us some pretzels. So I had a pretzel and a Sprite. Now, the crazy thing is, you would think if anything, pretzels and a Sprite would kind of settle someone's stomach. But hey, Naive, hey, Kate. But yeah, I think it was because I ate that right before landing. And oh my God, I was so sick. I was so sick. Like as I even walked through the Dallas airport, I think people could just see it on my face that I was sick. I'm going to apologize in advance for the light. I keep saying I'm going to get light for this dining room and I haven't done it yet. and I'm always by Lowe's. I was literally by Lowe's today, and I didn't stop and get the light. I just found something I was looking for. I had been looking for this. I had bought an extra one for myself, and then I sent one to Sherry, and I couldn't find the extra one. So I just found it. Like, that's too funny. It was on the table the whole time. Anyways, yeah, so flying is not my thing. I prefer to drive. And to me, it's cheaper. I'd rather pay for gas than and pay a bunch of money on a flight and just be miserable on the flight. For sure. So how are you ladies doing this evening? How's everything going with you guys? Raz, I was using one of my pens again today. Oh my God. It writes like butter. Like, I was only going to use it in one planner, and I just ended up using it in everything because it glides like, it's just beautiful. It just writes really, really nice. I love it. I really do. Yeah, today I actually didn't work at all today. My tutoring appointments were canceled. You really want to keep them for yourself? You should keep at least one of each for yourself. Like, the one I used was the one with like the crystal ball on the top. Oh my God, it writes so smooth. It just glides across the paper. Like, I love it. Yeah, I didn't do anything today. I didn't work. Both of my appointments were canceled. The one little girl that I tutor, who I'm her homeschool math teacher. She's not going to be needing me for 2 weeks, but by the time she needs me, I'm probably going to be out of town. So I probably will not be meeting with her for a long time because then I'll start working. We're state testing, but it was an okay day. Yeah, same. I went in to the other school yesterday. The kids were shocked to see me because I'm usually not there on Monday. But it was the last day I had to work with the Algebra 2 kids before they take their state test tomorrow. At this point, the kids don't even really care about the test. Like, the adults on the campus have put it in their head that that test is not going to affect them passing to next grade, so they don't care. Now, I know the test does affect some kind of accountability for the school. So you would think they would just tell the kids to do their best. I feel like I kind of wasted my time going in there yesterday because they're not serious. Like, they're just not serious about it. And the way things have been going, them not getting work, me not having access to the kids the way that I was supposed to for this whole time that I've been there, I don't feel like I was able to fully prepare them the way I wanted to prepare them anyways. And then last week I was stating that I needed calculators. I need calculators. I need to make sure that I could show them different ways to do things on the calculator to make it easier for them. I got the calculators halfway through the day yesterday. How much good was that? I'd already missed working with one Algebra 2 group. We didn't get to use calculators at all, which doesn't really matter because only about 2 kids out of the whole group were paying attention. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do on that test. And I hope some divine miracle takes place, especially if it's going to affect like funding or whatever for their school. Yeah, they need to get rid of them. They're horrible. So yeah, I don't know exactly what they're going to have me doing tomorrow. I'll probably end up working with the geometry kids since they don't test tomorrow. And I don't even know if I want to deal with them because they have shown that they are very, very lazy. Now, I have told the kids that my deadline for work is going to be next Wednesday. There wasn't a lot of concern. I have been going through the lesson and having, I would say, anywhere from 30 minutes to an extra hour of time for them to actually get started working. And only a few of them will actually take that time and work. And I'm at the point where I'm not going to get after them. I'm not going to tell them to pay attention. I'm not going to tell them to put their phones away. I'm not doing all that because you created an atmosphere with these kids before I got there. And at this point, I'm not trying to do classroom management. I was trying to come in here, fulfill a need because they hadn't had a teacher since October. And that was my focus. I don't have time for all the rest of that stuff that is a part of the teaching. So, the principal walked in yesterday and like one kid had his headphones on his head. I didn't care. I was like, at this point, I'm teaching to whoever's paying attention. You have the kids feeling that it's not important. Y'all have put that in their heads. That has not come from me, so I was just like, whatever, who's ever listening is listening. When I realized that that whole group back there is not, I focus on the two that are right in front of me, and that's the ones that I'm teaching today. So, out of all the kids I saw yesterday, I would say maybe 7 of them really paid attention. And there were some that were still absent. And I'm like, what can I do? Hearing that, I don't feel like such. I'm like, I'm not here to do classroom management. I'm just not. My only thing is I'm not going to talk over you. And I literally told the kids, I said, if you don't want to pay attention, fine. I said, but make sure that the ones that are paying attention can hear me because I'm not talking over you. That's pretty much the only thing I requested from them because I'm just like, I could care less. One boy was snoring so loud. I kept having to call his name to get him to wake up. And I was just like, and the only reason I even said it because it was annoying me. Like the snoring was annoying me. Otherwise, I could have cared less. He could have slept all day. I could care less at this point, They did remedy the situation about my paycheck. I had emailed the superintendent and she told me that she apologized greatly, said there should never be an issue like that again. I should never have to be waiting, which I thought was strange for on a Friday at 3 p.m. that checks aren't printed and ready to go. Like that was just strange to me. So when I went to get my check Friday, it was already ready. And that's the way it should be. I had gone 3 weeks waiting on that paycheck, and then having to wait for it. But when I went this past week, it was ready. So I had even told them I'm going to start turning in my timesheets every week as opposed to biweekly. In the event that this happens again, at least I won't have to wait 3 weeks again for my pay. And so that was all remedied. Thank goodness, but yeah, it's been a trying year, and my mom is so dead set on me returning to teaching full-time in a classroom. She's like, you need insurance. Okay, yeah, I get that. I need insurance. Hey, Tara Gay. Yes, I need insurance, but do I need all the other stuff that comes along with it? Because I was telling my brother, I said, yes, I could go back and I could get a full-time teaching job. I can have employer provided insurance. I said, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be stressed and I'm never going to even have time to go to the doctor for the stress. So that's how it was for me last school year. I was paying a lot because our insurance was very expensive at the school I worked at last year. I was paying a lot of money for the insurance and I never really got a chance to even take off and go to the doctor. So it was like kind of pointless. And I agree with you, peace of mind. And my mom, she doesn't understand that because like for these last few weeks, I told her I'm just going to go in, just do what I need to do, ignore everything. But my mom can easily do that. She can go into her workplace and she can ignore all the drama or whatever that's going on, go make her money and go home. I can't do that. It wrecks my spirit. You know what I mean? And she works at a daycare, so she does experience some of the things that I do, but not in the same aspects. It's not like being a regular teacher, especially a high school teacher, where everything is your fault. I'm not good at that at all. Must be a regular thing. Yeah, that's me too, Tara Gay, because I'm just like, I can't, like, it's hard for me to ignore it, especially when it affects my job. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be blamed for this drama that's going on, then I have a problem with it. But yeah, so she wants me to just do regular full-time teaching again, and she just don't get it, y'all. I love my mom to death, but she just don't get it. And after everything she knows that I've been through, she still just don't get it. And I'm like, I understand her concern about me having insurance. I understand her concerns about me being, able to pay my bills and all of that. I understand that because I want to be able to pay my bills and stuff too. But at what price do I have to do it? You know what I mean? Hey, Sherry, hello. But yeah, so that's how things are going to go for the rest of the year. Like, I don't know if they want me to come in for the following Mondays because I'm normally not there on Mondays, but I'm able to be there now. They mentioned a final exam. I'm going to get confirmation on that because I'm just like, what we actually do an exam over. The kids have not really been taught anything since October, and all the teaching I've tried to do is there's just been a bunch of interference. So I don't know. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you liked it. I just found this on the table because I know I had bought another one for myself, and I was like, I know I bought two, one for me and one for Sherry. Where's the other one? But yeah, I found it just now on the table. I love this sticker book. I don't know if you've used any of the stickers, but you will see a big difference, especially in the clear ones, in their sticker quality as opposed to the Happy Planner ones. Big difference. But yeah. So I know that I think it was last week or the week before, I was telling you guys that I wanted to kind of dive into some more in-depth conversations. Thank you, Sherry. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I wanted to keep that shaker for myself. I thought it came out so cute, and I went ahead and added the teal sequence because I thought it would bring out the few teal stickers that I put on there. But yeah, I went ahead and purchased the fuse tool so that I could make more secure shakers without having to secure them with washi tape. So I'm excited. I'm gonna, once I really get my schedule together, I'm just gonna start making shakers like crazy. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff from Amazon, so I'm excited. Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is mainstream media. So I've talked about this on my Facebook page before, and I've tried to explain to people. Usually, if something is mainstream media, there's either some hidden agenda, there's some fake news, or something's going on with it, or it's a distraction. Point being, what is that boy's name? Jussie Smollett case. The guy that was on the TV show. Oh God, what is the name of that show? I don't watch it, but I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes, Empire. So, point being, a lot of people, if they did not really watch the show, had no clue who this dude was. The fact that that story went so mainstream and that they had a whole press conference and all of this, there's agendas to that stuff. A lot of that stuff is used as distractions. And I kind of got into a debate with one of the students about this yesterday because he believes that these celebrities just make honest money And I was trying to explain to him, I was like, so what? You're just impressed because they've got money? I said, money doesn't mean anything. I said, do they have their souls? You know, do they have self-worth? You know what I mean? And I said, don't, I said, the problem with y'all's generations, y'all get blinded by all this money and bling that these celebrities have. I said, and y'all think, okay, y'all don't have to finish school, y'all don't have to do anything, y'all can just go out and make all this money just like they do. I said, and you know what? Yes, you can. I said, but there's a price to pay for it. Okay. There is a price to pay for it. So I was trying to explain to the kid that they have to do things that are unimaginable sometimes to make their money. And usually, and I don't know if you guys even noticed this, almost every celebrity has their highs, and then the same industry that built them up is the same industry that will tear them down. They all have to have that embarrassing moment, that moment where they're just looked at as horrible. And it goes to show how quickly we are willing to discard people at times, because we'll be like, oh, look at this. I mean, case in point, Mariah Carey, when she so-called had the breakdown on the MTV show, Britney Spears, when she had her little thing and shaved her head, Justin Bieber, like all these different ones, they had these crazy moments. Who's the other one? Hannah Montana. What some people fail to realize is about that whole lifestyle and that whole industry, especially the people that come up in there as children. A lot of those people are under what they call MK Ultra mind control. And when they have these, what do you want to call it? These outbursts or these crazy moments or that is them coming out of their mind control. That's when it's like a computer having a glitch. That's what that is. Okay. And so a lot of times when it gets broadcast across all the news channels for us, it's part of the agenda. That's the only way I can say it's part of the agenda. The younger the kids are, the younger people are when they come into the industry, the worse it is for them. Because if they can put you under how do I say this, Raz? I'm just going to say the evil powers that are really running the world. We think the governments are the ones that are running the world. The governments aren't the ones running the world. There are people with money that make the decisions. That's why I don't get all wrapped up in politics, because every politician is doing what they're told to do. I mean, I know a lot of Black people got excited when we got Obama. It didn't faze me because I know politics is politics. You know what I mean? Exactly. So they all have to have that moment of rise and fall. Okay. When you hear a lot of them talking about that they've gone to rehab, a lot of that is not rehab in the sense that we know it. It is, let's take you back and get your mind control fixed. Let's fix this mind control. Let's get these glitches out, And so, I don't know if you guys remember when Amy Winehouse made that song. They want to make me go to rehab. I said, no, that's what she's talking about. We think she's just talking about, I don't want to go to rehab for drugs or alcohol. No, she knew they were trying to get her under the control, and it wasn't happening. She wasn't going for it. And so they always try to say that these celebrities are on some kind of drugs or alcohol, or they've got some kind of mental condition. And that's how they try to mask the fact that a lot of them are under mind control. And you can see the glitches sometimes. there was one, I think it was a basketball player, and he was doing an interview, and he had a serious glitch. Okay, he had a glitch so bad that he was just sitting there like not moving, nothing, just like a zombie. And then they have certain hand gestures, hand signals, certain ways that they touch them to kind of snap them out of it and bring them back to what they're supposed to do. So they always usually have somebody present for their like interviews and stuff like that to help with that kind of thing. One of those MMA, is it called MMA fighters? Same thing. I saw an interview with him, and it was a certain way that they touched him every time that he came out of it. Otherwise, he was just like stoic, you know. And it's sad because I feel like a lot of these celebrities or they really have some talent, and then they go and either they get put under mind control, or some of them literally sell their souls for their fame and fortune. And it's like wasted talent almost. If you're a big time celebrity, yes. The way the whole thing works is you're not making it big for nothing. You're just not. And you can kind of tell when someone has done something to cross over and like really start making it big. You can kind of tell. And a lot of these, I don't know if I really want to go into that right now. I'll probably go into this other part of it in another live. But if you're big time, something's going on. You have either sold your soul, you've sold somebody else's soul, or you're under serious mind control. And it's sad because people push their kids into the industry, and some parents literally will just pimp their kids out, and that's sad to me. It is like the word many people. Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. Now, over the years, and I talked about this on my live when I was doing the unboxing of my subscription box. I started learning a lot of stuff some years back. And the first thing that I really come to know about, I watched a series of videos one night. And it was a Sunday night, y'all. I'll never forget it as long as I live. My spirit was wrecked. Okay, my spirit was wrecked. Do you hear me? I got to school the next day. I couldn't teach. The kids were like, "Ms. Brown, what's wrong with you?" I was going through the lesson so fast. It was like my whole body was just like, I can't even explain it. I was just done. Okay. I cried myself to sleep that night when I watched those videos. My heart hurt because I couldn't fathom why people would do some of the things that they were doing for money and fame. And then another thing that they do, and a lot of the stuff is put right in our faces, like it's just put right in our faces. There was a movie some years ago, and I never watched the movie, but I watched a video about the movie. And the movie was called Josie and the Pussycats. And in the movie, the basis of the movie is they're trying to get this female group, Josie and the Pussycats, to put all this subliminal messaging in their music, and they didn't want to do it. And they had even kind of referenced in there that they could make them disappear, plane crash, car crash, overdose. And I was just like, oh my God, that's exactly how most of these celebrities die. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, that movie was so telling, even though I just watched a few clips of it in the one video. And I had heard about the subliminal messaging and music and stuff. I'd heard about that. And I heard that if you like actually play stuff backwards, you can hear all these satanic messages and all this kind of stuff. I've heard that. So I was talking about that with some students some years ago. One kid had one of the game systems that lets you play a CD. I don't know all those game systems, but he had one and he came back to school and he said, Miss Brown, I went home, put the CD in there and it played it backwards. And you're right. I don't know. I don't know if the kid was lying. He could have been lying, but it got to the point where the kids were going home and researching some of the stuff and they were coming back and that's all they were wanting to talk about in class. They were like, oh my God, I found out this. Oh my God, I found out that. I mean, it's just a lot of craziness that I found out. And I remember taking a road trip with a friend of mine. And it was the first time that she had been exposed to a lot of the stuff. I started talking about it while we were on the road. And I think I wrecked her spirit, just like my own spirit had got wrecked. She was just like, no, Tamika, no, this can't be happening. I was like, yes, this stuff is happening. You know what I mean? And just some of the things that celebrities do to themselves, to their family, to their children. Yeah, it's really, really, it's really disturbing. Your students talk about it a lot. Yeah. I've learned lately that some of the kids that I encounter, they don't want to believe it. They just want to believe that everybody's just rich. And oh, so and so dropped out of high school and they look how much money they make, blah, 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 blah. And I told the kid yesterday, I said, one thing y'all don't understand as well. I said, there's a lot of that money and that bling that y'all see these people with. Those are advancements. They got to pay that stuff back. That's how a lot of these celebrities end up going broke because they've got to pay back. It's money that is fronted to them. You know, they ain't rich. If they weren't already rich, they're not rich. You know, some believe it, but yes. So this kid was arguing with me, and I was just like, you know, I'm not going to argue with you about it. I said, just know that if that's something that you want to do, just make sure that you hold true to yourself. Because, and I mean, and it's not just like music and film and TV. This spans across sports. I mean, just people of power, people of money, period. You know, and another thing that they do, and they put it right in front of our faces, they talk about a lot of this stuff in the movies and the TV shows, and we just think it's entertainment. But it's actually stuff that's happening and stuff that they're actually doing. And but another thing that occurs is that they present Tiger Woods. Yeah. I have a feeling that poor Tiger may have been one of those brainwashed ones because he came into the whole golfing thing at a very early age. You know what I mean? And if you have parents that are hungry enough for the money, they will allow anything to happen to their kids. And that's something I don't understand about children in the entertainment industry, sports industry. Too many times these parents leave their children unattended. And I don't comprehend that well. My child is going to be with me at every moment. Just like when they did the R. Kelly story and Aaliyah's mom came back saying, I was with my child all the time. Well, how is that if she ended up marrying him and that's legal documentation of that? How is that? How are you with her 24 hours? You cannot trust people with your children anywhere, let alone in that kind of environment. You know what I mean? So, but another thing they do too is they pass off celebrities to us as being one gender and they're actually another gender. Or they will pass off celebrities, and like especially a lot of these rappers, they pass them off as having been like gangsters and drug dealers and all this stuff. And some of them really weren't any of that. They have them portray that image so people will think that it's cool and people will go out and do that stuff. That explains why so many child stars end up Yes. And so when I started learning all this stuff, Raz, it just started making sense. I'm like, that's why some of them do end up on drugs because that's the only way they can cope with all the trauma that they've experienced. I mean, you think about all the cast of the different strokes, all of them had issues. Every single one of them, but they were young. There's no telling what happened to them, what they experienced, behind the scenes. There's no telling, you know? And it's sad. It's so sad to me. And then it's like some people, they hear about this stuff, they actually believe this stuff, but they still want to be a part of the industry. And I know it's crazy. It's kind of addictive because I watch like some of these TV shows like America's Got Talent or The Voice. I will watch these type of TV shows because I enjoy music for one. I enjoy music. But it's kind of contradicted because I kind of know what some of the behind the scene things. And so I'm like, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to get the record deal or get the contract. And I'm like, if they only knew, they probably really wouldn't want it. I've heard of how much abuse the adults allowed have to. Yes. Yes. And they say some of these celebrities do this abuse to their own children, which is saddening and sickening to me. And I've also heard about Disney. I could do a whole lot on Disney. But I watched this one video, and I think it's by Little Light Studios. They make really good videos exposing a lot of this. Little Light Studios. Let me type it in for y'all. I did a blog post on this before. So on my blog post, it was titled, Do you really know what your children are watching? That was the title of my blog post. Because I had come across some stuff and I was like, whoa, goodness. So, point being, a lot of the cartoons that we think are really great cartoons for the kids are not. The devil has been very crafty at deceiving folks. And I'm not trying to give him any credit, but I just think we need to be on our job as much as he's on his. But I came to find out that if you really break down a lot of the movies, the children, if you think about it, the parents usually aren't, and I'm talking about movies, fictional movies, right? Cartoons and stuff like that for kids. A lot of the times in these movies, you have these children that are characters in the movies, but a lot of the time their parents are not really visible in the movie. Or they're being very rebellious to their parents in the movie. And I had never thought about that until I watched this video. And I was like, that is so true. It's like they try to separate the child and the parent, and they try to put it in the kids' heads that we can do what we want to do. We can follow our own rules, And so one day this was when my godson was much younger. We were reading because he was required for him to read every day after school. And he had a Peter Pan book. And so I was like, okay, let's just read this. So we're reading the book. And then I just started thinking, wait a minute. Why does he come to these kids in the middle of the night when their parents are asleep? Okay. That's what I started to think. I was like, something is wrong with that. And I remember Peter Pan as a kid, never crossed my mind then. But as I'm reading it to my godson, I'm like, something ain't right. Why is he coming to the kids in the middle of the night when their parents are asleep? And then he's telling them that they can live, they'll never grow old. They're going to go to Never Never Land and they'll never grow old. And I said to myself, that's the same lie the devil told Eve in the Garden of Eden, thou shalt not surely die. So if the devil could get us to believe that we can live forever, or we shall never die, or that we all die and we all go to heaven and we're all good to go and all this stuff, he can get us to believe all of that, then he can get us to think that we can do whatever we want to do on this earth and we're still going to get to heaven. You know what I mean? That's what he can get us to believe, if he gets us to believe that. And so I'm thinking about all of that. And then the third thing that I thought about reading this story to him is his name is Peter Pan, Pan, right? And I had studied Greek mythology before, and I've studied all that kind of stuff. And I remember that Pan is this figure with the spiked tail and the horns. That's where we get the image of the devil with the tail and the horns from Pan, Pan, Pan. And I'm telling y'all, I'm reading the story and all of this is coming to me. And I'm like, we ain't reading this no more. We're not reading Peter Pan anymore. Like, it blew, and I'd never thought of it. Pan. If you look it up, literally, if you search Google for Pan, look up maybe mythical creature Pan, because otherwise you don't want to pull up like a cooking pan. Exactly. Throw the book away. So if you search it, you're going to pull up images of the whole hooved foot, pointed tail, horned figure. And his name is Pan. I'm telling y'all, I started like tripping reading that story, thinking about all of that. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then it started making me think about, what was that story when we were kids? Puff the Magic Dragon. So it led me to start thinking about that. And I was like, all the kids followed Puff the Magic Dragon around. They followed him everywhere, right? He got the kids to follow him. And then I said, when was the first time we hear about a dragon when it is referenced to Satan in the Bible? Oh my God. I was like, what was the real message behind Puff the Magic Dragon? Like, and so they came out with this other movie some years ago. I forget what it's called. I think they've had like 3 parts of it now with the black dragon or whatever in it. And I didn't want my godson watching that movie. I didn't. And they were like, this little boy was helping free that dragon and everything else in that movie. And I was just like, I don't want him watching that. So me personally, I don't do dragons. I don't do wizards. I don't do witches. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I know like at church, like when we would do like toy giveaways and stuff, they were adamant that you didn't bring any kind of stuff like that because we were not going to give it to the children. It was going to go in the trash. I learned before, like, I think it was the Yu-Gi-Oh cards were using real spells. You're literally opening up real portals and allowing these spirits in and stuff like that. Yeah. But it just blew me away. And so this Little Light Studios, they have, I want to say it's them that has a film called The Replacement Gods. And that film talks about the superhero movies. That broke my heart because I was a big fan of like the Transformer movies, and I was a big fan of X-Men. And after watching The Replacement Gods, it just changed all of that for me. It was just like, oh man. I mean, they talked about how in the Transformers, you're led to believe that the Autobots are the good guys and the Decepticons are the bad guys. And it's actually the reverse. And they talked about in one of the movies how Optimus Prime died and resurrected, and how they tried to make the counterfeit to Jesus through that. Y'all, I'm telling you, I was just like mind blown. Like, no, not the Transformers. Like, no. So yeah, it's just so much stuff out there. People, they have really deceived the masses so much with things. I mean, like even now when people are trying to going on a whole nother tangent here, just thinking about something as simple as people and their dieting. Now that people are trying to eat healthier and stuff, now they're trying to make it look like, oh, the almond milk is bad for you and things like that, because they want you to keep drinking the cow's milk. I watched a video about that. That's why I stopped drinking cow's milk. And somebody made a point one time. They were like, humans are the only ones that drink the milk from another mammal. The only ones. And they were like, even animals themselves stop drinking the milk after a certain age. Why are we still drinking the milk? And I was like, that's a good point. Why are we drinking it? Like, and then they talked about, you know, how, and that's with any kind of food production, processing, consumption these days. It's not all as humane. It's not all sanitary and regulated as it should be, or, you know, and they said like sometimes when the cow is being milked, that pus and blood come from the udders and gets into the milk, and the pasteurization doesn't always kill all that stuff. So I stopped drinking milk. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose because I still eat ice cream, but yeah. And our bodies reject. Yes, exactly. And then another thing too is they tell us that all of a sudden there's been this rise of like food allergies and all this stuff. And a lot of that is contributed to the way they process stuff. I know, Raz, I tried giving up cheese and ice cream, but oh, I cannot stand fake cheese. Like it's just nasty. And I love cheesy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to give up the ice cream. I think that lasted me 3 days. That didn't last long at all. It didn't. So I try to do it in moderation. Even though I always have ice cream, that doesn't mean I eat it every day. Yeah, I can't. It's hard. I tried it. It's just difficult. But I mean, another way that they started hiding a lot of stuff in our foods is they will put it as natural flavors, which means it could be anything. It really can be anything. And I mean, unless you're really growing all of your food these days, there's really no way to avoid a lot of stuff. But natural flavors and natural coloring could be almost any. They are using like bugs for coloring and different stuff for flavoring. Natural flavoring could be like a little bit of poop in the meat or something like that, for all we know. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just so much deception that goes on. It's ridiculous. It's just sad. And if you notice too, you will notice that a lot of people that start to expose a lot of this stuff, they will end up gone. Like a lot of the celebrities that either refuse to abide by the rules or what have you, they get rid of them. Like they get rid of them. Carmine and strawberry yogurt. Yeah. I mean, and that's crazy. And I know some people, they literally eat bugs. That's like a delicacy in some countries and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean we all want to be doing it. And I mean, I've heard that there's like a lot of health benefits to eating crickets or what have you. I don't know. I'm not trying to eat crickets. You know, you know what I mean? Like they are literally have products now that are processed with the crickets. I saw the whole company on Shark Tank before. So, but yeah, it's just like they aren't required to tell you exactly what some of this stuff is. They can just put it as natural flavoring, natural colors, and they have met their requirements, you know. Um, Going back to the industry, one of the things that I had been um one thing that I've been finding out over the last, I would say, last couple of years, last couple of years, everyone that you think is deceased is not deceased. Um, there are literally well-known people that are the same person. That's going to sound crazy to y'all, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. There are actually people that they put it out there that they have died, but they are actually now living as someone else. Y'all, now that one is the one that I don't understand the deception behind that. I don't understand why you would want to deceive us and make us think that this person is dead and they're really alive living as somebody else. That one I don't understand. And then I was like, well, do these people remember their former lives? No, they go to rehab and they don't remember. They don't remember, I guess, their former lives. You know? Yeah. There is a newscaster. What is her name? Megan something. Megan. Oh God. You've probably seen her. And when I found out who she was, it blew my mind. Yes, look at her. Look at her really, really good. Look at her really, really good. Okay. She's going to look like somebody that was all over the news at one point. He probably is, Sherry. He probably is. They claim Tupac is still alive and living as some guy with dreads and somewhere. Like, yeah, I mean, that's y'all's homework until next Tuesday. See if y'all can figure out who Megan Kelly is. It's going to blow your mind. Oh my goodness. I was like, and the crazy thing is because I don't really watch the news, but when I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's definitely her. There is a slight, like, I think it's like a slight nose job that was done. And they put these people right back in our faces, and we don't have a clue. Yes, it is, Raz. Yes, it is. Someone who their name was all in the news for their death. It was a big, big deal, their death. Yes. Um and then I don't know if y'all remember the space challenger, was it? The spaceship that blew up when we were kids? I'll never forget that. They were showing that. They broadcasted that live, and a lot of classrooms were watching it across the country and everything. That never happened. Those people are not dead. Those people are not dead. Most of them are professors now. Oh, Megan Kelly got fired? Did she? Huh. Interesting. Raz, I'm telling y'all, it will mess you up. It will mess you up. But I've gotten to the point where I'm just not surprised really anymore. I'm just kind of not surprised anymore. When I found out some celebrities that I thought were females are actually not females, that blew my mind too. I'm like, what? 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 And so when you hear about a lot of these celebrities having babies, don't believe they're physically giving birth, because some of them are not even physically capable. Like, some of them are not even physically capable. It's crazy. And there's a lot of connections throughout the industry. A lot of these people have the same bloodline. You'll never know it, but they do. They have like the same bloodline. There's a lot of these people that come onto the scene, someone in their family was more than likely already in the industry prior to them being in the industry. There's usually some connection there. But yeah, it's some heavy, deep, mind-blowing, disturbing stuff. I didn't say who she was. I said that's y'all's homework. Y'all gotta go figure out who she was. That's y'all's homework. Oh my God. And I was like, wow. And then who's that other one? Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is also another newscaster in Australia. She's a whole nother person in Australia. Same lady, same exact woman. Like, y'all know Nancy Grace has a very distinct look. You can't pass her off as somebody else. And yeah, I was like, wow, just blatantly. There's another rock star that passed. He didn't pass. He was literally doing an interview talking about himself in the interview as if he was somebody else. It was crazy. It was crazy. And you can blatantly tell that it's him. Like, the only difference is the hair color. But we have been so programmed to believe everything that's out there. And when you think about it, what is it called on TV? It's called a television program, right? It's called a program. You flip through the channels, right? Channeling things. When you break down the word entertainment, it means the process of, I think, tainment, possession, and I don't know. I'm wondering about that one. I'm not sure. But a lot of these deaths are not accidents, even if they're actually dead. A lot of it's not an accident. A lot of it was intentional. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. It's some crazy stuff. Yeah. And let me tell you how I got first exposed to some things was when my brother had started. I don't know. My younger brother had started like finding out a whole bunch of stuff, and he was showing me a bunch of videos. And the videos that he showed me that really disturbed me were called Blood Sacrifice. It was a part 1 and a part 2. Those disturbed the heck out of me. Okay. And then we had a guy come to our church a few years ago. He used to be in a rap group, and he and his rap group, they were no longer in the industry. And he talked about some of the things himself that go on, and I think it was him that broke down the word entertainment. I know mint means the process of, enter, of course, entering. I believe tain means to like possess or take possession of. And so when you look at that word all together, really think about it. You watch a television where you change the channels and you watch a program. You know what I mean? It's like, crazy. Yeah, I was always wondering about Princess Di too. But yeah, y'all, I might have to DM y'all some stuff on Instagram, some stuff for y'all to go watch. But if I DM y'all some stuff, proceed with caution. Like, really prepare yourself and pray before you watch it because it's gonna disturb you. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, then I had found out too about like the weather. They have ways of controlling the weather. They have practice factories and stuff over in some Asian countries where they practice. That's why I don't get. That's one reason I can't get worked up about weather either. When the fires are coming and the storms are coming, I'm just like, Here, I don't know about where y'all at, but our worst storms always happen in the middle of the night. They don't happen during the day. When you see those airplanes and stuff, those jets or whatever going across with their little puff of stuff behind them, we used to think that stuff was cool when we were kids. That is ways that they're poisoning the air and stuff. They do what they call cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is how they change the weather. The Hunger Games is, I've never read The Hunger Games or watched it. So if they're talking about that stuff, and they tend to do that, they put it in the TVs, in the shows, in the movies and stuff. They put it right out there in our faces, like it's entertainment, and they're really telling us what's going on. Yeah, they control the weather, and it's sad to me because the Bible said in the last days there would be these things happening. The God just didn't say they would be man-made, but they are man-made. I mean, I live in the state of Texas, okay? Like one of the biggest states in the country. We have one natural lake here. All the rest of them are man-made. So they can man-make all these lakes across the big old state of Texas. They can make some weather too. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. A lot of these fires, they're not happening the way they're telling us they're happening. If you really think, but like I said, we have been conditioned to just believe what we see. But if we stop and take a moment and think, fires don't work like that. The aftermath of a fire doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's sad. And I think I kind of mentioned the whole Notre Dame thing. The Simpsons predicted it. They had an episode about it. It was on fire. It's like, oh my goodness, this is insane. And as soon as it happened, I thought it was strange. I was just like, And like I told y'all too, around April is like that week that happened is their annual kind of week for stuff like that, fires and explosions and stuff like that. So if you go back and look at a lot of big news stories about fires and explosions, they would have taken place around that same time frame. Like I think the Oklahoma City bombing was one of them. A lot of that stuff took place around the same time of year. We had a big explosion in Waco, and that didn't even look right to me when I saw that on the news. And I was just like, come on now, something ain't right. But I think I've always been one to just kind of question things because I think logically all the time. And so a lot of things just never really made sense to me, but I was just like, okay, that's what y'all say. And I think that's part of why I never really care for history class because I'm like, I'm just supposed to believe that all this stuff happened the way you're telling me that it happened. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I had issues with history class when I was younger. But I will definitely DM y'all some stuff. I'll try not to give you the heavy stuff too soon because it's disturbing. Like I've literally cried watching some stuff. Like it made me sick. It made me physically sick. Yeah. I mean, we live in a very evil world, and a lot of people believe that hell is this pit. Hell is here on earth. Where was the devil cast out to? He was cast out here. This is hell. Okay? This is his turf. I mean, he was cast out, and a third of the angels were cast out with him, right? So think about this. You have a Los Angeles. What does Los Angeles mean? The angels, right? What kind of stuff goes on over there? That's where a lot of the evil culminates. The devil, before he was cast out, he was Lucifer. He was in charge of the heavenly choir. He knows music up, down, left, right, in, and out. What better way for him to get to the people through the music? Do you know that almost every song has the same, I think they call it a chord? Almost every song has the same chord. I've seen a video where they've taken that same chord and they just keep playing all these songs on top of it. That is another way that they keep you under control with the music. And then I thought about it one day. I was like, man, then they got us to get big boom boxes. They got us to get the big speakers and the subwoofers in our car and just blast the stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, yeah, Los Angeles, the angels, that's where those third, and then Hollywood has a crazy meaning to it too. I forget what it is. It's a what? My brother knows, but he ain't trying to tell. Yeah, Hollywood has I'm gonna figure that one out. I'll let y'all know, but it has a meaning to it too. So it's nothing is accidental. It's all intentional the way things are. And I had to think about that one time. That was when I went to visit in LA, and I was like, yeah, Los Angeles. A lot of evil goes on in Hollywood, and the devil was cast out with a third of his angels. Los Angeles, the angels. I'm telling y'all, it was just like, oh. And I think Hollywood has something like to do with like putting you to sleep. Yeah, they have us. And they made this whole zombie thing popular. And I remember posting on Facebook one time, I said, everybody's talking about the zombie apocalypse. I said, the zombie apocalypse, it's now, because they have us walking around asleep like zombies, unaware of what's really going on. The zombie apocalypse is now. I mean, it's sad because you learn this stuff and you're just like, oh, Lord Jesus, help us. Help us, Lord. I'm sorry, Raz. I don't want you to have bad dreams. It was disturbing for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard for me to sleep that night when that first real encounter I had with this kind of information was watching those 2 videos on blood sacrifice. Woo! I'm telling you, when celebrities start having family members die and they start blasting all of that in mainstream media, be aware. Because why do they need to tell us all the celebrities' business like that? Be aware when that is broadcast. Almost anything mainstream media is a distraction, an agenda. Believe it. And don't believe everything that they tell you. They will lie. They will lie. I think I told you guys before, there was like during the Iraqi war, some newscaster was pretending to be over there, but yet it came out footage of him literally being filmed in the studio. And what was weird was like supposedly there was an explosion while he was there and he's trying to take cover, but the cameraman is still. If there was an explosion, wouldn't the camera would have been like, but that's not what happened. camera was still. They had footage of him, them bringing him food. He stayed in the studio for weeks or whatever. They bringing him food in there and everything in between the filming so he can eat. And he slept in the studios, all of that. Fake news. And I'm like, that's not cool because people have family members that are over here fighting this war and you're doing fake news about it. Like that is not cool at all. Like when my older brother was over there in Iraq, there was a newscaster with him. So we were able to know for a fact that this was the stuff that was going on with his platoon group, whatever you want to call him, over there. He was, Chip Reed was his name from NBC. I think he was from NBC at the time. He was literally with my brother's group. So it was a blessing for us. We were in the know, but to think that somebody else was doing fake news, like that's crazy. A lot of these shootings and killings and bombing, a lot of that stuff is strategically planned. They have people that they call crisis actors. There's one girl, she's in every major crisis that there has been. She's in all of them because she's an actress. One lady, they interviewed her, you could see in the reflection of her glasses, the screen where she was reading what she was supposed to say. It was fake. I forget which one that was, but it was just fake. It's such fake news. Yes, I believe some people are actually losing their lives in this stuff, but a lot of the stuff is planned. It's done strategically to, for one, keep us in fear. Two, to make us want to relinquish our rights to guns, because in these last days, once they get us to give up our guns, we will not have any way to protect ourselves. It's all a part of an agenda. I mean, it is. And I worry about like my godson because he's young and he's coming up in this crazy evil world. And I'm just, I try to tell him some things without telling him too much because I don't know, his little mind can't handle it all. But it's a lot of craziness going on, like a lot, a lot. But yeah, I will email, I will DM you guys a little something. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to have this kind of conversation with y'all because I care about God's children, even the people that might get on my last nerves. I mean, I care about God's children. And I just hate the fact that people are being deceived. And I mean, and the Bible tells us all this stuff is going to happen. It does. And that's why a lot of times I just tell myself it's prophecy being fulfilled. It's prophecy being fulfilled. You know, and I think that's the way that I actually cope with it all. And I actually deal with it all. I just keep telling myself that, you know. But definitely I will DM you guys a little something, and I hope I didn't blow your minds too bad. I'll try to find out from my brother what that meaning of Hollywood is again, but it has some kind of crazy meaning to it. Yeah, I mean, y'all, just know when your celebrities are going to rehab, they're getting reprogrammed. There's a glitch in the system. And it's sad. It's sad. And that's one reason why they put a lot of celebrity or couples or married, they put them together for a reason. Some of it is just for publicity matters, and some of it is to keep at least one of the people under control. So if you ever wonder why one celebrity ended up with another one, you're like, why are they with them? That person is more than likely their handler, and they're keeping them under control. I don't know if y'all ever noticed, you probably go back and watch clips of Beyonce and Jay-Z. He grabs her by the ankle like right around her ankle. That's like her trigger. That's the trigger. Like seriously, that's how. And if you ever see her like at those basketball games they go to and she just be sitting there looking crazy, that's why. Hey, Empress. Girl, you missed a lot. You're going to have to watch the replay. But yeah, look up Little Light Studios. Look them up. They have some very interesting videos. When they break down the Disney stuff, telling y'all. I used to always think I wanted to take my godson to Disney World. No, I don't. I really don't want him having anything to do with Disney. And I don't know if you've noticed over the years, a lot of the Disney TV shows are all about wizards and witches and vampires and zombies and that kind of stuff. Almost every single TV show they have. And magic. Yes, almost every Disney show is about all of that now. And the Bible will tell you literally to remove yourself from that stuff. Do not partake in that kind of stuff. Wizards and witches and all that kind of. The Bible tells you that. Soothsayers and psychics and all that. Bible tells you to stay away from all of that. What's wrong with Disney? Disney is not as sweet as you think it is. And then supposedly they have like a whole little underground city or something like that happening at Disney World. I've just heard that you should not lose your children there. Whatever you do, do not lose your children at Disney World or Disneyland. Make sure you have a good hold on them. This is something else I want y'all to think about. Think of all the celebrities that came up in Disney and all the issues they've had. Think about it. Think about that. Those kids have gone through some things. Yeah. And it's sad because I can't help but think, where are the parents? Why did the parents allow these things to happen to their children? Why weren't the parents with their children? I went when I was little, but I haven't taken my kids. My little kids. Yeah. There's a lot of subliminal messaging in their movies and stuff, like a lot. And I'm like, no, because I was like a big Little Mermaid fan. I was in love with the Little Mermaid, and I was a Disney fan. And then I started reading up on stuff, and I'm like, okay, I see. And like I said, reading that Peter Pan story really had me disturbed too. So I was just like, She's 27. That's good that she's an adult. Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, I don't want y'all to just take my word for a lot of this stuff. Like, seriously, do your research and you'll see. You'll come across a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of disturbing stuff. If you're really sensitive, it's going to really get to you. But if you even have a little bit of a love for humanity, it'll get to you. I mean, it just will. It will get to you. But I'm definitely going to send y'all a little something. I'll consult with my brother, see what's the safest thing to send y'all for now. That won't blow your minds too bad. But then I'll do that. Oh, I know there are things wrong with most things, especially cross-size. Yeah. And what we were saying, Empress, too, we were mainly talking about mainstream media, and a lot of what they put out there, there's like an agenda, or it's used as something to distract you. And a lot of times they'll put stories out there to distract you because there's something else going on that you really should be paying attention to, and they don't want you to pay attention to that. And I think that's part of why Trump was elected. He makes for a good distraction to a lot of stuff. I mean, he's a big buffoon. He's a good distraction. I mean, seriously. He really is. But it's just a lot of craziness. A lot. What did you say about the Hollywood? You're not on camera. All right. Well, y'all, I'm gonna head off of here. Nah, he thought the camera was on him. Ain't no camera on him. He does know that my tablet is portable. I'm not at a desktop. I can pick this sucker up and go all around the house. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and get off. And Empress, make sure you go back and watch what we talked about. Don't forget y'all's homework. Y'all, that's the one thing I'm not going to tell y'all. I want y'all to figure that out now. Y'all's homework is to figure out who Megyn Kelly is. Okay? There might be a prize for whoever can figure it out. I need to post a giveaway. I'm about to do a giveaway. I've had the stuff for over a week now. I just haven't done a video. So I need to get that up. But yeah. But yes, you ladies have a good night. Pray. Ask God for discernment when you're watching the news and things like that. Just ask for discernment and clarity. Because it's a lot of craziness, y'all. A lot of craziness. You don't want to do no homework, Empress. You know I'm a teacher. That's what I do. I assign homework. Oh, goodness. I'll think about it. But until next time, you guys want to know what to do. Be sure to slay, subscribe, like, accept the alerts. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.